We need to talk about grief needing to be felt. And what do I mean by that? I absolutely mean that you're not going to get through this process by just thinking you can just sit in this grief and let it evolve into whatever it wants to be. That is not going to move the grief through you. That's not going to move the grief from out of your heart. And I'm not talking about when I say grief has to be felt. I never said in there it has to be studied. It has to be analyzed because you're going to do that naturally on your own. You're going to naturally go down and see what needs to be studied, what needs to be analyzed, and you're going to overthink it. I already know you're going to do that because that's what I did. Grief needs to be felt, not pushed away or made logic. Oh, what's the logical part of this grief? Grief is not a thought process. It is absolutely a full body experience. And I feel like I say that a lot, and I also feel like I repeat a lot. And that's, or maybe you feel like I repeat a lot. Maybe I don't, but that's done on purpose. It's a full body experience. It's in your chest. It's in your throat. It's in your muscles. It's in your cells. It's in your heart. It's in every breath you take, every step you take. It impedes your sleep. It shows up as foggy thinking. You will absolutely not be able to push this grief away. It has to be felt. But I think for most of us, we're trying to get by without feeling it at all because we don't know what to do with it. I don't mean that you're consciously going, she's crazy. I'm not going to feel this. That's not the part I'm talking about. I think that because we don't know what we're supposed to be doing, because we don't know what we're supposed to be doing with this grief, we're actually trying to not feel it or not process it. This grief is not weakness. You are not weak. You are not weak. You're grieving. You're actually stronger than you know. But here's what happens with the strength. Sometimes we can get stuck in the strength. And the strength becomes a hindrance to us because we so often try to use the strength as power to push through. That's not feeling. That's powering. That's powering through. That's not feeling the grief. When you use your strength, your be strong as a form of allowing the grief, of feeling the grief, of processing the grief, right? It's a form of protection. You're trying to protect yourself. I want to protect myself too. I want to protect my heart. I want to protect myself from this grief. Grief shows up in everything. It shows up in everything and it slows everything down. It slows everything down, and it's supposed to do that on purpose. It slows everything down to keep us from drowning in the weight of what has just happened. But eventually it's going to ask you to be felt. Eventually it's going to insist that you feel it. Eventually you will not be able to outrun it. This is the part where most people get stuck because they've never been taught how to grieve. Because they're afraid of it, because it feels so bad, because it is so painful. We have fear that if we start crying, we'll never stop. I can't even tell you, you guys, if I had $1 for every time a griever told me that, I would be so rich. I wouldn't be standing here because I'd be spending all of that money. If everybody that said that sentence had to give me $1, I'd be a millionaire. And it's not true, even though it feels that way. And I know it feels that way. We want to scream, but we're scared we'll lose control. We want to fall apart, but we're afraid we won't find our way back. Because the truth is, you won't come back the same. You're never coming back the same. You are forever changed. You are forever changed, 100%. And I agree with that. So let me explain what I mean when I say that grief has to be felt. We have to feel our grief. Grief is what protects our mind from immediate overwhelm. I hate to be writing on the board and not talking. I'm like, they're like, why is she just writing on the board? Grief is not our thought process. I already talked about that. It's not something that we can logic our way through, right? It's not abstract. It's not something you're making up. It's absolutely physical. It's emotional. It's cellular. It's in every cell of your body. Grief is not something that happens to you. It's something that happens inside of you. Grieving is a process. There is something going on with the grief. Thank you, Paula. There's something going on with the grief that's bringing us to full awareness of what has just happened to us. Grief protects your mind from immediate overwhelm. In the first moments, days, and even weeks after the loss, most grievers describe feeling numb. Weeks, days, and months after the loss, most grievers say, I feel numb or foggy. They say numb. They say foggy. Right? I already said it's not a weakness. This numbness is a protection. The numbness is a protection. It serves a purpose. You are supposed to go numb. You are supposed to feel foggy in the brain. The numbness serves a protection. Your brain, your body knows that this pain is too big to process all at once. It knows that it's too big to process all at once. So immediately you go numb. Immediately you go numb. It slows everything down. It dulls the intensity. Listen to what I'm saying, you guys. Listen to this. The grief is so smart, it even knows what it's supposed to do within your body. This design was done specifically to help you process. Hey, Tracy, it's designed to help you process. It honestly knows that it's supposed to slow everything down so that it can help you to accept what has just happened to you. How does it do that? It does that by having you go numb or foggy. This is the part where you forget to pay your bills, where you forget what you're doing, where you forget the business. Grief that is in our body, designed to help us with the process, is not dumb. It's smart. It's really smart. It knows what it's doing. Grief knows what it's doing and it knows what it's supposed to do. But oh my goodness, not us. We push back against it. We don't flow with it. We don't flow with it. Thank you. Thank you for the gift. So it slows everything down and it dulls the intensity. It lets the reality seep in slowly. Grief moves slow, and then it moves fast, and then it moves slow, and then it moves fast. But on these slow parts here, it does that on purpose to allow the reality to come in little bits and pieces at a time. And then it builds layers. It builds a layer and a layer and a layer so that we don't drown in it. So that we don't drown in it. So that our grief doesn't take us out. So that our grief does not take us out. That's why real grief pain often doesn't hit until later. This is why when you call a therapist, they said they won't see you for 6 months. They want you to be in the grief, in the numbness, and in the foggy for 6 months. Because I know for a fact that somewhere between the 4th to the 6th month, this starts to wear off. This starts to wear off. And the pain of grief comes up. The pain of grief starts to come up. The numbness and the fogginess starts to wear off, and the pain of grief starts to come up. And that's where most times grievers start looking for me, right around that part. Why? Because they feel like they're doing the grief wrong. They feel like they're doing the grief wrong. They feel like they can't handle it. Oh my gosh, this is too much. I can't do this. I'm doing this wrong. Okay, so number 1, grief protects your mind. It's doing that on purpose. Number 2, grief honors what was lost. Grief honors your person. It honors your person. It honors your love. Imagine losing someone and never shedding a tear. Never feeling the ache. Imagine losing someone and never questioning. Did that mean that they didn't matter? Does that mean that they're not important? But they did. They mattered, and they mattered deeply. So of course you're going to have some pain. Grief is not a failure. You're not failing because you're grieving. You're loving because you're loving. You're grieving because you love. You are grieving because you love. My heart to yours, Monette. Man, you just keep getting the punches. My heart to yours. Tell us your friend's name. What is your friend's name? Monette said a good friend of hers died this morning. What's your friend's name? It is a form of love. It is not a failure. Grief equals our love. If this relationship mattered, this person had meaning to you, and your love for them is real, then you're going to grieve. If the person mattered, the love mattered. And then it's going to be real. The pain is why people try to rush through the grief or silence it. It feels like they can absolutely erase what's going on. It's not just uncomfortable, it's completely disrespectful for us to push the grief away, to not grieve. Grief is not something we get rid of. Grief is something we go through. It is a process that we go through. It's something that we move with because it's a reflection of the love that we carry. It is about the pain. And our love doesn't end. Neither does what they meant to you. Friends, grief is sacred. This grief is sacred. It's raw. It's real. It's messy. It's about you. It's about them. Grief is your love still trying to find a place to go. Hear me out. Here's Austin. He is 10 years old. I absolutely love him. I was there the day he was born. I love this kid beyond belief. And then he drowned at the lake. He drowns at the lake. He's gone. He's literally gone from my life like that. But he didn't take my love. My love stayed with me. The emotion of love stayed with me, and it stayed in my heart. Now it doesn't know where to go. It doesn't know where to go, and it doesn't know what to do. Grief is your love trying to find a place to go. Think about that. Grief is your love with no place to go. So it's trying to find a place to go, and it mostly comes out as sad, as crying, as broken. The thought of even going into your heart and feeling this love is so painful. Okay, number 2, grief honors what you've lost. Number 1 is grief has to be felt. Number 3, grief helps you connect with your inner world. It helps you reconnect. Grief helps you to reconnect. It helps you to reconnect. It helps you to reconnect with your inner world, your inner body, your inner space. Loss just doesn't remove the person from your world. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my towel because I cannot see. Oh, here it is. I can't see out of these glasses. I can't see. I see all you guys are writing stuff. Sorry, but these glasses are absolutely filthy. Aha. Loss just doesn't remove your person from your life. It blows a hole in your identity. It blows wide open your role. I'm his wife. What do I do now? I'm his aunt. I pick him up from school every Friday. I have him every weekend. What do I do now? I'm his parent. I'm his mother. Who am I now? Grief, loss doesn't just remove the person from your life. It blows a hole in your identity, your role, your belief, your assumptions about grief. You lose your person and suddenly you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are, and you start questioning everything. Why? What is the point? And there's huge questions for God. There's multiple questions for God. And we all know that that's true. Who am I without them? Am I still a wife? Am I a mother? Am I a mother of 3? How do I describe this to people? What do I say? What do I believe about life? What do I believe about death? What do I believe about fairness? God, what about my future? What about? Who am I? This, my friends, is not your dysfunction. This is you trying to grab your foundation again, trying to stand steady on the foundation of who you are now. You are forever changed. You will forever be someone different. You will never go back to being the Sharon you were before the loss occurred. You just won't. The grief is doing what it was designed to do. The grief is doing what it was designed to do. But we think we're so smart. We think we know better at the grief, so we push back. We resist the grief. We don't talk about the grief. We don't share about the grief. We isolate in the grief. We pretend. We smile, even though we know we're dying on the inside. We stop eating. We start drinking alcohol. We start drinking wine. We're doing whatever we can to survive. And it's not that we're trying to survive, it's that we're really resisting the grief. Grief is going to reorganize your internal world. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's going to happen. Your brain is attempting to process, it's attempting to reorient, get back on with your daily schedules, get reorganized, help you get all this new reality that you have now. But we resist it. We absolutely resist it. And it doesn't happen quickly. Because reconstructing yourself, reconstructing your heart, reconstructing your life is going to take time. Hey, Debbie, it's going to take time. Grief is the bridge between who you were before the loss and who you have become. Grief is the bridge. Wow, let's see, that's so good. I want to write that down. Grief is the bridge. Here you were before. Here you are. You're living your life. You're planning your trip to Disney World. You're living your life. You're doing all the things. This is who you were before. But there's an absolute bridge to who you are now. There's an absolute bridge to who you are now. Grief is the bridge between who you were before the loss and who you are becoming now. You are becoming. You are becoming. You're becoming a new person. You're becoming someone new. You're becoming someone who is forever changed. I'm forever changed. I'm no longer this person. I'm here. Is she sad? No, not necessarily. Is she broken? No. She's just different. She is different. Grief is the bridge from before and to who you are becoming. The becoming woman is the one doing her work. She's figuring it out. She's figuring out her work. She's figuring out her broken heart. She's figuring out who she is now. Grief demands to be processed. As if it can come in here and start making rules and regulations. It's so dang bossy, that grief. Grief demands that you process it. Friends, it's not going to shift. It's not going to shift until you start processing it. This grief is not going to move until you start processing it. And this is the part that most people fight. This is the part that most people fight. I don't want to feel the emotions. You have to feel the pain. Look, I just wrote it. You have to feel the pain. You have to feel the pain of the brokenness in your heart. You have to talk about this brokenness in your heart. I want you to understand your grief. Grief is demanding that you understand it. But we want to solve it. We want to figure out. We want to go from 1 to 10. We want to be at the end. We want it to go away. But the truth is, it's not a problem to be fixed. It is pain that is demanding to be felt. It's number one, guys. It's the number one thing. Every emotion that shows up in your grief is demanding to be felt. Sad, mad, anger, happy, longing, regret, guilt. It is all demanding to be felt. It is all demanding that you feel it. Every emotion that shows up in grief, sadness, anger, guilt, regret, longing, is an attempt by your body to mobilize the loss. Get it moving. These emotions aren't mistakes. What did I say in the beginning? Your grief knows what to do. Your body knows what to do in a grieving experience. Your body understands what to do, but it feels so foreign. It's so foreign because nobody gave us the book on how to do this. Nobody told us to turn to chapter 6 and read the book and understand that this is going to feel bad and it's going to feel heavy, but that you are going to make it out the other side. You're going to make it out the other side forever changed. But you are. You will laugh again. You will enjoy again. And there are parts. All of these emotions are parts of the processing system. Sorry. When you suppress these emotions, they don't disappear. Here's Monday. Your heart's absolutely broken. You don't even know how you survived the weekend. You're like, God, thank you. It's over. I don't even know how I got through that. Because the weekends tend to be the worst because people are doing stuff and they're starting to invite me to stuff. So on Monday morning, you wake up and you're so sad. You're so sad. You miss him so much. And the sadness is really big. But you go to work. You know the sadness is there, but you just ignore it, and then you go to work. You wake up on Tuesday. You didn't do anything with the sad, but now on Tuesday, this memory keeps repeating in your brain, and you got this guilt. That's what you think it is. It's bigger because you didn't do anything with the sad. The sad is still there from Monday. The guilt is joining from Tuesday. Emotions aren't a mistake. They're a part of the processing system. When you don't do anything with the sad, the guilt seems even bigger. Wednesday, it's kind of quiet. You don't really have that much. You're so busy, you don't have time to feel any of the emotions. You don't even notice. As a matter of fact, about 5 o'clock, you start to feel angry because you all of a sudden realize, I went through the entire day and I didn't think of him. And this happens around 7 p.m. Thursday, you cannot get out of bed. You cannot get out of bed on Thursday. The grief is so big, and the longing for him is huge. You don't even go to work. You call in sick. Because you see, Monday you had the opportunity to feel the sad, but you let it bypass. Tuesday you could have felt the guilt, but you didn't do it. Wednesday you didn't think of him at all, but then the anger showed up late in the day and you were really mad at yourself and you internalized that. By Thursday, you almost can't even keep it together anymore. You're not even standing in an upright position. You can't get out of bed because when you had the opportunity on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you didn't process the pain. You suppress the feelings and they don't disappear. They go underground. They stay here. This is what your heart starts to look like. This is what your heart starts to look like. And then you start calling me in a panic. I'm having a bad day. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And sometimes grievers will tell me, I'm overwhelmed. I'm feeling pressure. I'm overwhelmed. I'm having a bad grief week. I always ask them the same question. When did it start? When did your bad week start? And I tell me when it started. And they go back to what started on Monday morning. And if I'm working with you and I'm talking to you, what happened on Monday? Well, it was a long weekend. There was a wedding and a graduation. It was so hard. I could hardly make it through either one of those, which is also grieving. And you push through and you pretend. So over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, she was pretending. On Monday, she wakes up and the grief is there. I always go back to the beginning. When you call me in a full-blown panic on Friday, I don't start here in the panic. I take you all the way back to Monday, which leads me to Saturday and Sunday. What emotion were you feeling at the wedding? What was happening at the wedding? Who were you talking to at the wedding? What thoughts did you have at the wedding? What thoughts did you have about the wedding? Friends, if we were to absolutely do the grief every single day, it is to keep it from building up. Grief serves a purpose, and our purpose is to process the pain. When you suppress these feelings, they don't disappear. They just go dormant. They turn into anxiety. They turn into depression. They turn into chronic stress, chronic isolation. That's what happens when you don't do anything. But when you allow them, when you cry, when you scream, when you sit in silence and just stare off, when you share your story with your friends, your body begins to release what it's been holding on to. Monday, you wake up and you're sad. You have to be to work at 9 o'clock. You know that the weekend was heavy. You know that it was a heavy, heavy weekend. So instead of just getting up at your normal time at 7, you know that there's going to be grief when you wake up. So you wake up purposely at 5 o'clock and you have your first cup of coffee. You go out into the living room. There's nobody in the house. The house is absolutely quiet. And you're sitting there in the living room with your coffee. You take a deep breath and you just start thinking about the sad. You just start thinking about the sad. But you're allowing the sad. And all of a sudden you start to cry. And you're there for about 40 minutes. You think about him, how much you miss him, how much your heart hurts. And you get up and you go and get dressed and you go to work. On Tuesday, you start to feel the regret, the guilt about an event that keeps playing over and over in your mind. So on Tuesday, you call your pastor's wife and you talk about it. So on Tuesday, you talk about it. On Monday, you felt it. You allowed it. You thought about it. You allowed it. On Wednesday, you're really busy. Remember, on Wednesday, you're really busy. You didn't have much time. But on Wednesday night, when you realize you went the entire day without thinking about it because work was so busy, instead of getting angry, you do a brain dump. And you try to see where the anger is coming from. Every single day, you're doing something. Emotions need to be processed. When we allow them, when you cry, when you scream, when you sit in silence, when you share your story, your body starts to release the grief pain. This is what grieving is. It's what we are responsible to do every single day of our life as we are grieving. We are responsible to feel our feelings on purpose, with support, and all the way through. Your grief will build resilience when you allow it. Here's the paradox. Grief will break you open. Grief will break you open in ways that you never thought possible. But it also puts you back together. It breaks you down to nothing, but it also puts you back together. Not stronger so you can muscle through it, but it holds you upright so you can move through it, so you can get what you need to get out of it. You have to let yourself be honest. Friends, you have to be honest in your grief, because you have to tell the truth, because you were told the truth. Because when someone tells you the truth, you don't take off running, never to do this grieving thing. You cannot run from the pain. You cannot run from the truth. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that this is your journey and that this is your journey right now, to each and every one of you that hear my voice. You cannot run from the pain. You have to turn and face it. And we have to turn and face it head on. And we have to take the blows. Because when the grief is processed all the way through, it deepens you. It is part of the change that's taking place in you. It is the change that's taking place in you. Processing grief gives you the empathy that you need for the rest of your life. It gives you perspective. It gives you wisdom. It gives you strength that you didn't even know was possible. It gives you strength that you didn't even know you had. But this only happens when you allow the grief and you don't suppress it. When it's welcome and not denied. When it's guided and not ignored. I love that we grieve here together in community. I love that people come in here and they know one another. This is the community. This is the space that I've always dreamed of creating. Okay, I'm going to do a commercial real quick, because I've been on for a minute. My name is Sharon Brubaker, and I'm a grief specialist. In 2006, my nephew Austin drowned at the lake on Father's Day weekend. As I was walking up the stairs to tell my sister that he had in fact drowned, I realized that I didn't know anything about grief. I realized that I didn't know anything about grief, and I also thought she was broken. I also thought she was broken, and I thought it was gonna be my job to fix her. I didn't know anything about grief. I thought she was broken. I thought it was my job to fix her, and I didn't even allow myself to grieve at all. I went on a mission to find out everything I could about grief and loss. Erica and I are 10 years apart. I'm 10 years her senior, and I thought it was my job. No joke. And here I stand before you 18 years later, and on June 17th, next Tuesday, is going to be Austin's 19th anniversary that he's gone. And let me tell you what I went out to when I went out to find everything about grief. I found nothing because it was 2006. The Google was still fairly new. And what I found were the 5 stages of grief, which is one of the biggest lies they tell us in the grieving community. Grief is done in community. It's done with structure. It's done and allowed to give you space. Grief demands that it's processed. My name is Sharon Brubaker. I'm the owner of the Grief School, the place where healing begins. I sit with women so they feel heard, understood, and supported while they are on their unique grief healing journey. I teach an educational program on grief and loss, and I do that in an intensive retreat weekend. My sister Erica and I also teach. Okay, if you don't know who I am and you're on TikTok, go to the link in my bio, and there you can, you can follow me, which would be great. You can go to the link in my bio and click the link that says click here for hope. I have coming up next week on the 17th. Forgive me, friends, if I told you the wrong date because I was saying the wrong date. On the 17th, I'm doing something called the Emotional Reset. It is a 3-day come together with me, taught on Zoom, where we can be face to face, where I'm going to help you reset these emotions. I'm going to help you reset these emotions. First, the first part of resetting is understanding what emotions even are. What are these emotions? Why are they happening? Why am I feeling it? It's going to be on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. It's going to be from 7 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. It will not be recorded, but there are videos that go along with it. Why will it not be recorded? Because I want to have everyone feel safe to share their grief. Actually, I just told you a non-truth. I'm so sorry. The teaching will be recorded, but the share will not. Why do we grieve? Why do we grieve? Why does our body process grief this way? Because it's trying to help us survive the unthinkable. Because it is trying to help us remember what truly mattered in that relationship. It's rebuilding our lives. It serves a purpose. Pain and brokenness and making you feel like shit is not just the only thing that it does. And our job is to not come out healed and spiritual and running amok in the world. Our job is to come out whole on the other side, sharing our story, ready to share our story with anyone who will listen. When grief hits, it shows up in your body first. You feel a tightness in the chest. You feel a lump in your throat. You can't speak. For a lot of us, our knees went weak and we went to the ground. You can't talk about them. It's hard to even say their name. It's hard to hear their name. Your person is no longer here. This is your loss. It is about your love. You lie in bed at night with a head full of noise. Your thoughts are racing. and your body is completely exhausted. Your body is completely exhausted because it takes every ounce of everything you have just to grieve. Even if you slept 8 hours, you wake up exhausted. You wake up feeling like you haven't rested at all. That's grief. It feels like you're walking through mud. Your limbs are heavy. You can't concentrate. Your stomach is off. For most of us, we're not even hungry for 30, 60, 90 days. You're irritated at everything and everyone, the way they said things, the what she wore to the funeral, the way that they talked, the way that she looked at you. You don't have the bandwidth. You can't decide what to wear, what to eat. Should I keep my job? Should I go back? Let alone how to survive the day. How the heck am I going to survive today? This is grief in your body. It's not just sadness. That's what I did yesterday. Grief is not just sadness, it is everywhere in your body. And if no one has told you this yet, I'm so, so sorry that this is your experience right now. But I'm also very, very honored to have you hearing me because it would have made a big difference for me had I known this. I'm the person that I needed. I'm the person that I needed way back when Austin died. Austin died on June 17, 2006. My father died on Thanksgiving in 2013. My nephew, Donovan, Austin's brother, died on July 2nd, 2015. For the second time, I had to tell my sister that she had lost a child, that she had lost her son, her 21-year-old son, to a motorcycle accident. If you go on the link in the bio, if you're on TikTok, you click the link that says click here for hope. If you're in the live, click on the link that says Beacons AI / the grief school. I have the link to Erica's book there. Her book just came out. She tells the story of her beautiful boys, her grieving journey. Because it would have made a difference for us if we knew this. If there were grief specialists out here who knew this, who could help us with this, who could teach us how to do this. I tell this story all the time, you guys. I'm so naive. I thought that I was going to go to the doctor and the doctor was going to tell me what to do. I knew there was somebody out there, and to me, I felt like it was a social worker, but I wasn't really sure. Grief lives in your heart. It lives in your nervous system. It lives in your muscles. You are not imagining this. You are not weak. This is what grief actually feels like. But when you try to bypass it, when you push it away, when you try to outthink it, outfix it, outmove it, outsleep it, outeat it, outdrink it, you only make it worse. You make the grief worse. You end up staying stuck. You get frustrated. You get frustrated that it's not moving along. We start to think something is wrong with us, when in fact, we just haven't been taught how to process the pain. Let me be clear. Feeling your grief is not about wallowing in it. Feeling your grief is not about wallowing in it. It's about allowing it. It's about letting it take over and come all the way through. It's about letting it be there and letting it come all the way through. Feeling your grief is not about wallowing in it. It's not about falling apart. It's not about falling apart in front of anyone. It's not about just passing out. Someone says, I went to her book signing in Denison. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. 8858. That's beautiful. I love it. Feeling your grief is not about falling apart. That the fear that keeps you stuck, Fear from not processing keeps you stuck in your head. We're afraid that if we go there, we won't come back. Hey, Cinnamon, how you doing? We're afraid if we go there, we won't come back. But here's the truth. You're not coming back the same. It was never intended for that. You will never come back the same. Grief was never intended for that. It begins when we allow ourselves to rise with the support that we need to help us through this. And one of the things, the key is feeling the grief on purpose, feeling it without judgment, without fear of being judged. I have grievers and I just love them. They cry anytime. They don't care. They're at work, they cry. They're in the grocery store, they cry. They're at the bank, standing, filling out the deposit slip, they cry. Whenever they feel it, they cry. I think it's beautiful. I think it's perfect. I love it. Not me. I couldn't do that, but I love it. I love it for them. But then I have the opposite. I have grievers who never cry in front of anyone else. They never say their person's name. They never think about their person's name. They have stuffed their person so far down that they can't even begin to feel where it's at. The key is to feel this on purpose. Feel it without judgment. Feeling with people who are trained to help you. Feeling with people in front of you who can teach you how to do this. It's the difference between spiraling and healing. Healing is what happened with Eric and I through guided understanding, through the educational program, part of the educational program that I teach now. We've adjusted it quite a bit, especially after Donovan dying. Next week, on the 17th, 18th, and 19th, I'm going to be doing the emotional reset. I'd be honored to have you guys. The link is in the bio. July 24th, I'm going to be doing a grief intensive weekend. Everybody on TikTok, if you hang out, as soon as I'm done here, I will be right there to answer some of your questions. And I'm going to share with you guys where I'm. Hey, Pauline, I feel like I can't breathe. My heart to yours, my friend. How can I help you? I'm on the 1 year and I feel all the emotions from last year. Yes, it is not uncommon for us to get at the 1 year anniversary and all of a sudden let go. What are all of the emotions that you're feeling that you didn't feel last year? I want you to write them out. What is the one thing, the biggest thing that you've been holding on to? What's the biggest thing that you've been holding on to? When was the last time you talked about this? When was the last time you talked about your person? When was the last time you said their name? When was the last time you talked about what you're actually feeling? What's your plan for the 1 year? Are you planning on celebrating the 1 year, or are you solely going to celebrate their birthday? I know I'm throwing a lot of questions out, but I'm doing that on purpose. Is it that you just need to sit in some of this? Is it that you just need to sit in some of the grief? Or has it not been processed for a long time? Kim says, I talk about them daily. I love it, Kim. I absolutely love it. But when was the last time you cried, Miss Kim? When was the last time you let some grief be there and you really processed it all the way out? I'm not judging you, just asking. Hey, friends, I thought I was going to be live at 10 a.m. today. So sorry. It was actually 11. But I think next Tuesday I'll be live at 10. This Wednesday, tomorrow I'll be live at 4. Thursday I'll be live at 11 and 7 a.m. for Saturday. Grief study halls today from 1 to 3. Oh, I cry a lot when I can. Beautiful, TC. Beautiful, TC. A grief study hall is a place where we come together as women. And I'm teaching a lesson today on using the word death or died. And that came about by a question in Grief Study Hall. I have an absolute lesson prepared. I'm going to be teaching that today. Grief Study Hall is currently stationary at 1 to 3 p.m., but it will start to float this week. So I'll have some evening sessions, some morning sessions, some afternoon sessions, so everybody can get a chance to come in. If you go to the link in my bio, you can sign up for Grief Study Hall. It is a community outreach. It is what I give back to the community. It is for you. It is for you. It was designed for you. It is a grief support. It's for you. Study hall. What is study hall? It's where you come and study out what this is. Study out what you're supposed to do with this grief, how you're supposed to move this grief. On Thursdays, we have a VIP group. It's called Honor Society. It is also a grief support group, but it's only for people who have been through processing the pain of grief. Processing the pain of grief is a 4-week self-guided program. And I'm going to be talking more about that next week, but it's an amazing program. We have Honor Society, so I'll be there Thursday from 4 to 6. I was given the wrong dates for the emotional reset. It's actually June 17th through the 19th, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that's in the link in the bio there. And then Forever Change, the Grief Intensive Weekend, where Erica and I will be teaching together, where we'll be walking you through all of the pain, all of the definition of grief, everything that you need to do, and helping you with that one relationship that we can help you with to move it, to move the pain so that you can complete the grieving process on your person, to complete the grieving process. And we help you complete the process to the pain, the loneliness, the isolation, the anger, anything that you wish was better, different, or more. We teach you how to do that in a grief intensive weekend. Did you hear what I said? Grief intensive weekend. I didn't say grief retreat. We're not rubbing your back. We're not giving you massages. We're getting down in there and we're doing the grief work. And it is an amazing, beautiful experience. And it's amazingly beautiful to do it in person because we can give the hugs that are so, so totally needed in grief. Okay, TikTok, hold on. I will be right there to answer because you guys have a lot of posts. I'll be right there to answer your questions. To everybody in the live, I love you. I see you. I am you. And thank you so, so much. I'll see you in Grief Study Hall today at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you, friends.